Our group did Poverty from a Social Gospel View, and we are members Eva Stacy, Mariah Satterley, and Connor Logan. Industrial issues that preceded the social gospel movement. During industrialization, which was 1890 to 1830, there was a growing gap between the rich and the poor, spurred by the creation of the middle class, and the average annual income for the American worker in 1890 was $427, while big business owners could be making as much as $14 million annually. Urbanization created a literally toxic environment for the impoverished to live in, like with all the trash in the streets and whatnot that we've discussed in class. Industrial attempts at solution, they were made by Washington Gladden, who was often called the father of social gospel, Walter Rauschenbusch. He believed in the idea of the church as an institution for the temporal kingdom of God to answer the problems of the working poor, which means that he believed it was like your moral duty to help the poor as a Christian. And there was also the Salvation Army, which was formed in the late 1800s. Some sources say it was formed in 1865, but others say that the name was gained in 1878. So, yeah. And there was also Jane Addams, who was a big part of the settlement house movement, among many other movements. And she was the founder of Hull House, one of America's first successful settlement homes. And then there was also the Workers' Compensation Act, which was paid leave when injured on the job, which we still have in place today, and that is really good. Like, that was a big step into diminishing poverty. Some problems today. We chose to represent this by pictures, because who doesn't love pictures? So up here in the very left right corner, we've got a political cartoon, that's what it's called, that says, "Ask your doctor about Obamacare." And then it's got the little asterisk, and on the side it says, "Side effects include delayed treatment, elevated taxes, swelled deficits, shortages of doctors, and in some cases, death." And then we can see this nice little old lady holding a giant bottle of pills labeled Obamacare and looking kind of distraught about it. And then in the middle here, we've got a picture that says, "If you like your health care, can you really keep it?" President Obama promised reform would not affect existing coverage. While it remains uncertain exactly how many Americans will lose employer-sponsored plans under Obamacare, studies show that it will be millions. And then we've just got different groups of people and the amount that will lose their employer coverage that they've got after Obamacare is fully implemented. Yeah, for Congressional Budget Office, there's 11 million, and that's a lot. It just kind of shows all the flaws with Obamacare. And then over in the bottom here, we've got Obamacare adds to premium increases, and it's talking about how premiums continue to rise under Obamacare, and President Obama promised premiums would fall under his health law, but Americans continue to pay more every year. In fact, Obamacare is responsible for a portion of the increase in cost. So the annual average cost of employer-based health insurance has gone up, or at least it had in 2011 versus 2010 by 9.5%, and or 7.5% depending on the type of policy you're looking at. Our platform is to create a better platform for our country's healthcare, and we plan to change the income rate needed to apply for Obamacare, which is currently at for one person, income has to be between $11,500 and $46,000. So for a family of 3 to get Obamacare, your household income would have to be between $19,500 and $78,000. So we want to lower the minimum and up the maximum so that more people can apply for Obamacare, so that it's more of an affordable healthcare thing for everyone instead of just the lower class, because it makes it so that the lower class and middle class both kind of rise up, so that the amount of lower class citizens within America decreases, because the way that it's going, it's pushing the middle class down into the lower class and essentially just switching out the people in the lower class with the people in the middle class. So that's what we want to do. We want to eliminate that and fix the issues with Obamacare. The pros of our platform is that it will decrease the size of lower class citizens, the number, and it will give more money to the lower and middle class, and it doesn't force the middle class to give money to the lower class, which is what is pushing the middle class down into the lower class due to Obamacare. And it will bring the economy up in general, and it will offer health coverage to the most amount of people. Some cons, however, are that it forces the upper class to supply middle and lower class, which kind of sucks for the upper class, but they have the money to do it. It provides affordable healthcare to everyone, but that means there are less jobs that have availability within an industry because there's less money to go around that industry. So there will be less openings for doctors or insurance people. And it leaves some lower and middle class members stuck with lower class jobs that they are overqualified for. Say you've got a PhD but you're flipping burgers. That's and the people who will be voting for us are mostly Democrats and the majority of the lower and middle class, because our platform directly benefits them. People who will be voting against us would likely be upper class Republicans.